Yeah, I mean, I think at a minimum, that transaction is a shot across the bow to a guy like
Right.
Stevens coming off a really bad game where he allowed another touchdown, he couldn't tackle. And I don't disagree about Carter, who's also just been a little banged up. And I could see both him and Quincy, again, being these previous regime type players who just aren't here next year. It doesn't mean they're not going to go somewhere else and be productive NFL players, but that kind of lineup that you mapped out, that would make a little more sense. We know Chris Harris coached him previously, so there's a history with the player, and I'm sure he advocated going to get him. We know we know we're going to see Thomas sooner rather than later. He already played, and he held up all right in a small sample size. And there's too many measurables, and that was potentially too good of a pick of too good of value to keep him on the sideline. And I am sure in the Jets' mind, now they're starting to say our corners for the next few years are probably going to be Sauce and Thomas. How do we round that room out and have some more depth? Because even from a depth perspective, we like Stickers, but we don't know if they view him as a safety or a corner. And again, he's not someone that they drafted. So
You have to always remember that last part.
yes, it's like, so we turned over the D-line room. Now it's like we want to make it our cornerback room, for better or worse. So,
Yeah, you have to remember with new regimes, I have been fortunate enough to sit down with somebody after they got hired in a higher end executive role and just pick their brain on what it's like acquiring a roster that wasn't theirs. That was bad. That was really bad. And I remember we sat there over quite a few beers. Like, this was a long conversation. And they are so picky when they get there, because you don't want to ride it out with a player that wasn't your choosing, because you don't want to die on that sword. You'd rather die on your own sword. And so think of every 50-50 guy. If there's a guy on the team where it's like, yeah, he's fine, but we don't think he's as good as the money he makes, so we'd move on. Every 50-50 decision is punt the guy away. So they try to turn over the roster as much as they can. The problem is, too, this is a Jets team right now, some of their own doing with the regime and some not, that their resources are not great for a bad team. They're not. They don't have a third rounder this year because of the Hassan Reddick trade. They traded next year's fifth to go up and get Tyler Barron, which was their own doing, an idiotic
trade.
An idiotic trade. So now they're trying to be creative by getting. The thing is, the Jets can't suck next year, right? The Jets can. People don't want to hear this. The Jets can really be bad this year, and I don't think anything's going to happen.
I agree.
Right? That's kind of I think the Jets could be picked. I don't think the Jets are going to be picking 1, 2, or 3, but if they are, I don't really think anything would happen. But next year,